Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So got to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rikah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all Israel, whether accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing the truth and believing the truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwat who are listening learning, the few sisters who are listening learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Orlando Camp, coming to another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another day's edification, Lord willing, just be edifying. So I titled this lesson, Food Will Be Taken Away from You Jakes. So I got an article or a video I'm going to play. They're going to get a few precepts. And shalom to the Akim and Awaf that's tuning in. Yeah, by Shema Shah Barakathon. So yeah, as you already know, my main channel down for 2 weeks because of a video that I did. These devils talking about that was hate speech. So I'm using one of the backup channels. Hey, the for tuning in. So let me get this. And the Mawathia on Akwath, Akwath is like plural for sisters. So you can take the yum off. The Akwath, that is plural for sisters. So let's get this. So I want to play this. You see it. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. And you see it. So, let me play this clip. This is new from May 2022. You're probably going to have some infomercials in it, so just bear with me.
All right, so there's a global food shortage, and the bad news...
So lock you. I forgot to turn this volume down. This is a live video. It's definitely going to echo. So check this out.
All right, so there's a global food shortage, and the bad news is it's probably going to get worse by the end of this year. Now, this is kind of crazy, but ever since we started keeping track of food prices with the Global Food Price Index, we are now seeing food prices hit the highest levels they've ever been, ever. Staples like corn, highest it's ever been. Wheat, highest it's ever been. Soybeans, highest it's ever been. Not to scare anyone, but this is kind of scary. The United Nations food chief said that the war in Ukraine has caused a catastrophe on top of a catastrophe and will have a global impact beyond anything we've ever seen since World War II. And that means, once again, millennials will face a once-in-a-lifetime economic event. In fact, one economics professor says that it's this kind of a situation with food and gas prices going higher that's going to put us into a recession. And when coupled with inflation, is going to give us the worst possible economic outcome, which is stagflation. So in today's video, I want to help break down exactly what is the cause of this food shortage and what's going to make it worse by the end of this year.
Now I want to get the definition for stagflation before we move forward. So let's look at this real quick for stagflation. So it's a stagflation.
Stagflation.
It's a persistent high inflation combined with high unemployment and stagnant demand in a country's economy.
And how stagflation actually works and what it would take for us to get there. So let's get right into it. Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Hope you're doing well. Let's talk about the food shortage, because on one hand, it's absolutely horrible, but maybe it's a good way to solve obesity in the US. I'm just kidding. Let's first address the elephant in the room, which is the theory.
Hey, he said he kid, but hey, that's definitely going to happen, man. Okay, in Lamentations 4:9, they said they shall pine away, man. That's great. That's good. It's gonna be a lot of obesity. They're gonna slim up real fast, man.
Floating around on the internet that this food shortage crisis was manufactured by the government. There have been reports of suspicious fires and industrial accidents like the one that happened to a Walmart distribution center. There was one in Oregon at a potato chip plant. Over a dozen reports of warehouses and processing plants having recently caught fire, in some cases thanks to freak accidents. So the internet did what the internet does best, and now there's rumors floating around that this food shortage crisis was all engineered thanks to the government. So let's take a look at some facts, because 20 fires in the last month does sound pretty bad, but how many is that really? According to the National Fire Protection Agency, between the years 2015 and 2019, we have had 5,000 fires per year set to manufacturing and processing plants. In comparison to the first 4 months of this year, 2022, we have had 20 fires set to food processing plants. So in comparison to our annual average, this is not a huge deal. What we're actually experiencing can be more attributed to something called the Baader-Meinhof phenomena, which is based on something called frequency bias. This is when we learn about something new and then we start seeing it everywhere, and our perception is that it happens a lot more than it used to before. And this is because of something called selective attention bias. So much happens to us our entire day that our brains can't focus on all of them. But when we specifically choose to focus on one thing, we start to see it a lot more. And that's how this rumor was created. We noticed some fires and then we started paying attention to them a lot more. But the truth is, fire.
Hey, and that's very spiritual, man. Because what the word government, it mean what? Mind control, man. Control minds. Through what? Through conditioning and gradualism, man.
Sometimes happen, probably a lot more often than our brains are used to regularly thinking about them. The reality is there are 5 main real reasons why food shortage is very real and why food prices are becoming a lot more expensive, and here's what they are. The first reason is probably the one that's most obvious that we all think of, which is Russia's invasion into Ukraine. Now, I didn't know this before making this video, but apparently 25% of all the wheat exports in the world comes from just 2 countries, Russia and Ukraine. 20% of all the corn exports comes from Russia and Ukraine, and about 90% of all the sunflower oil comes from there as well. Now, this year, the Ukrainian farmers are not planting because they're too busy fighting the Russian soldiers, and Russia has stopped exporting its commodities to the West because they don't want to play nice. Now,
you see, and what is that? That's Joel 3, man. The Lord say, what? Beat your plowshares in the swords and your pruning hooks in the spears, man. Because it's wartime, right? I had to tell you, what is that? Ecclesiastes chapter 3. There's a time for peace and a time for war, man. Right? Well, we're in a time for war, man.
Here is the craziest statistic. It's estimated that between Russia and Ukraine alone, they provide something like 12% of the world's calories that we consume, which is kind of crazy if you think about how many calories are coming from just 2 countries. As of last year, Ukraine's total agricultural exports was $27 billion, and Russia's was $37.3 billion. So together, they're both massive players in the field of global agriculture. So that's reason number one why food is actually becoming more expensive. And here's reason number two. Reason number two is there's a global shortage of fertilizer. Now, I'm not a farmer, so I had to look this up, but what fertilizer actually does is it replenishes the soil with nutrients. And without that fertilizer, we would grow a lot less crops. And now there's a shortage of it, specifically the chemical used to make it, like anhydrous ammonia, which, as you can see right here, has skyrocketed in price and reached an all-time high. And to make matters
Now you see that? If these devils, you see that, man? If these devils would just do the land Sabbath, they wouldn't need no fertilizer, man. You see that? That show you the Lord is destroying this place, man. If they'll just till the earth in spots for 6 years and let that part of the earth that they till for 6 years rest for 1 year and plant in another spot, they wouldn't need fertilizer. You see that? The Lord is destroying this place, man. These devils got to create, because they talking about the real overpopulated. So the being overpopulated is not meeting the demands for the food that's being processed, man. That's crap, man. You see how hey, these devils, the Lord is destroying these devils, man. We shouldn't need no fertilizer, man. The earth produce minerals. The soil produce minerals itself. The same way the Lord made our body to heal itself with the right herbs. The earth's supposed to heal itself, man, if they follow the land Sabbath. Hey, that's what the Lord told this devil Cain, the earth should not yield its full strength unto thee, man. Now we got to use fertilizer. Wow.
worse, the Russian Ministry of Defense has stopped allowing all exports of fertilizer, and that's bad because less fertilizer means less crops means the price of them goes up. And it turns out Russia is the #1 exporter of fertilizer in the world. So the US Department of Agriculture is predicting that food at home is going to end up costing us 4% more by the end of this year. And reason number 3 why food is becoming more expensive is because India is going through a massive heat wave right now, and that's having a devastating effect on wheat. In fact, this year, right now, they recorded their highest March month in the last 122 years. And that is estimated to lower their wheat output by 6 to 10% this year. And reason number 4 why food is becoming more expensive is that in order to keep food costs down, the countries that are exporting their food are placing restrictions on themselves so they can export less and keep more for themselves. Check this out. Ever since the Russian invasion right here, the amount of trade policies on food restrictions around the world has tripled. And this makes perfect sense. Countries are like, I'll just hold off on selling my food until the world settles down. But that only makes the food prices even worse because the less global trade there is, the more expensive things become, which some people argue is potentially a good thing because the price we pay for efficiency is resiliency. And what that means is if we want things to be fast and cheap, what we give up is stability. And that because we depend on each other, if one variable gets thrown off, then everyone's in trouble. And if instead we focused on being independent, sure, costs would go up in the short term, but in the long term, it would become a lot more of a stable system. So there's pros and cons to both. And really the 5th and 6th reasons is because gas prices, which obviously affect anything and everything that requires transportation, and supply chain problems like we're seeing the new Shanghai lockdowns, which means everything is stuck in their ports once again. And that's the real reasons why food prices are becoming more expensive and why there's a food shortage. Now let me explain how this will affect us later this year. Even though both Russia and Ukraine together accounted for something like $64 billion worth of agricultural exports, by comparison, the United States exported $177 billion. So almost 3 times that. And that's because the US is what's called a net exporter of food, meaning we don't really rely on other countries to supply us with food. And it was also a record-breaking year last year, so at least we have that going for us, but that doesn't mean that we won't be affected by these food shortages. Later this year, for example, we could start seeing empty shelves, specifically for specialty products like baby formula and maybe even sunflower oil. And people are already seeing that, and stores are responding by putting on restrictions on how many things people can buy. For example, CVS and Walgreens.
And look, we shouldn't even be using no baby formulas, man. Man, why do you women think you have breasts, man? We supposed to be breastfeeding our children, man. This devil got Jake using these formulas, and when you look up this company Cinemix, man, it's baby fetuses and everything, man. Hey, this devil gotta go, man.
Is limiting baby formula to 3 per transaction. Target is doing the same thing, but 4. And if countries start to implement more and more of these restrictions, it's not that much of a stretch to imagine that stores will implement this same rule, but for other products as well. For now, it's the rest of the less developed countries of the world that are unfortunately going to end up paying the ultimate price for all these food shortages, because it is the poorest countries of the world that are net importers of food, meaning they have to rely on other countries to supply them. And it's also estimated that food for the lowest income countries accounts for half of all of their expenses. So it's this perfect storm of all of these food shortages is why the price is going so much higher. And that brings me to the ultimate economic event, which of course is the possibility of stagflation. So let me explain exactly what that is. Stagflation is a combination of 3 things: inflation, unemployment, and the GDP all going in the wrong direction, meaning we have a higher rate of inflation, everything's becoming more expensive like we have right now. There's higher levels of unemployment, people working less jobs, which technically we have, but not for the reasons that are bad. People are just voluntarily not working jobs, they're waiting. And third, we have a declining economy, or a negative GDP, which so far in the first quarter of this year, we already got. So if we got another quarter of a negative GDP, we would be in a full-blown recession. And that is what stagflation is. The last time we had it was sometime in the 1970s, when everything was becoming ridiculously more expensive, but people were not necessarily making more money. And some people are arguing that so far this year, we're about 2/3 of the way there. Now, if you really want to get a lot nerdier about this whole game of economics, there's a website called WTFHappened in 1971.com. It's an amazing website that goes over into so much research and data about an inflection point that happened in.
And that's crazy because in 1971, that's when they took the gold standard from this fiat currency, man. Okay, Nixon did that, man. Which it was Yahweh Shema Shah using the elites to use Nixon. But that's what 1971. That what was going on then, man.
In the 70s, that sort of changed everything. For example,
Right.
in 1971, the average income was $10,500, but the average house cost $25,000, or about 2.5 times what the average person was making in a year. Nowadays, the median income is $44,000 a year, and the average house cost $428,000, or about 9 times what the average person makes in a year. Also, a brand new car back then cost about $3,500. A college tuition to Harvard was $2,600. The average cost of a movie ticket was $1.50. Rent was $150 a month, and gas was about 40 cents a gallon. So life was very different back then, and this website explains exactly how we got here. Anyway, I'd love to turn that website into a full video on itself, so if there's interest in that, let me know in the comments down below. But for now, my strategy in today's market is the same as it was last time, which is to build an emergency fund of at least 6 months, and I would make myself as indispensable as possible to the company that I worked with. I would make myself so valuable that if layoffs were to ever start happening, that they wouldn't be able to let me go. As always.
So you see, things was a lot cheaper, man. Hey, the Lord is destroying this place, man. Let me get this real quick. This is Jeremiah 51. I'm gonna start at verse 6. It reads, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord. Yahweh Shema Shah's vengeance, he will render unto her a recompense. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad." Because of what? Because of these draconian constitutions, man. Because these devils have destroyed the earth, man, through their petrodollar. Just say, verse 8, "Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if it so be She may be healed. We will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone to his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up into the skies. And that's why these devil had this slogan about making America great, making America great again, keeping America great, right? Because 40 cents for gas, right? New whips, 3,500, houses 25,000. To get a these houses now, a decent house, you spending 150,000, man. And if you Jake, they hitting you with predatory lending, you'll never pay for the house, man. And that's what the word mortgage go back to, man. The word mortgage go back to morgue, man. It's a death note, man. Um, these devils, man. So let me get these devils are some serious, man. They done destroyed the earth, man. Oh, in Genesis 4, right? Dealing with this famine, man, because this is real. And if you ain't covered by Yahweh Shema Shah, by the time the famine hit, and Lord willing, we be covered, man. If we ain't covered by the time Jacob trouble hit, man, it's gonna be bad, man. So I want to read this in Genesis 4. This is Genesis 4 and 11. And now, this is the Lord talking to Cain. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which had opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond should thou be in the earth. It say, and now thou art cursed from the earth, right? When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength, man. This is Isaiah 24 and verse 5. It reads, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse, what curse? Them that's in rulership. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. And this is going to affect us, man. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. The Lord said he made the world for your sakes, right? In Isaiah 3 and 1, let's read this. For behold, the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah host, doeth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread, and the whole stay of water. Who is going to affect? Jerusalem and Judah, man. It said the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet, and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50 and the honorable man, and the counselor, and the cunning artificer, and the eloquent orator. This is talking about these super deep, wicked niggas, man. This applies to all these two-third Israelites that think they on some level, that think they know more than the Lord, man. This is going to affect you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, man. The Lord is talking to us. This is going to affect us. This is Hosea 4 and 3. We don't care about the heathens. We know the heathens, they're going to get destroyed anyway. They are casualties of war and collateral damage, man. Okay? This is, it's called Jacob's trouble for a reason, man. It's called Jacob's trouble, not Edom's trouble, not Ishmael's trouble, not Ammon or Ham or Elam trouble or Moab trouble. It's called Jacob's trouble, man. This is Hosea 4 and 3. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field. What's your beast of the field? That's lawful meats. Your beef, your ox, your sheep, your goats, right? It say with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. What's your fowls? Your chicken, your quail, your turkey. Yeah. And we see 30 million turkeys, man. 30 million chickens. It say, therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yeah, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. The Lord is cold, man. So your red snappers and your trout and your salmon, huh? Yeah, all that, man. All the lawful foods, all the unlawful foods, the Lord is taking it away, man. And the reason he's doing it, because he made the world for Israel's sake. Everybody else in this movie is just collateral damage and casualties of war, man. Again, Isaiah 3 and 1. For behold, the Lord of hosts, will take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff. This is your comfort. The whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. The mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50 and the honorable man and the counselor and the cunning artificer and the eloquent orator. These are talking about all men of Israel. And guess who follow behind these men? These women. We look at these different camps. Everybody want to party and have a good time. And yeah, I'm looking for, I want to be able to go to the Shabbat. I want to be able to listen. These are talking about the men. Who's following the men? These wicked women, man. These women that have no clue of what's going on. These men, because they teaching Jake, they don't know what's going to happen, man, what's coming, man, because they're not warning them of what's going to happen, man. So these are the men that's deceiving, and that's why I tell you in 2 Timothy that just in Isaiah 3, that name all these men that's deceiving our people, man. So in 2 Timothy, right? In 2 Timothy 3, in verse 6, right? When you start at verse 1, listen. This is talking about the men of Israel, wicked, the wicked ones. 2 Timothy 3 and 1. This know also that in the last days, perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of them own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, coming against the truth. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. These are all men. Who's following these type of men? These women. These women. Just like I said in Isaiah 3 and 1. All those men, the eloquent orator, the cunning artificer, the counselor, the mighty man, the men, the captain of 50, those are the women, those are the men that these women are following, man. Same thing right here. Verse 6 say, now 1 through 5 of 2 Timothy 3, we're talking about the men who's causing the women to follow these wicked acts. Verse 6, it said, for of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women, laden with sin, led away with divers lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. These men is deceiving these women to follow these ways. You see that? This 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 7, link perfectly with Isaiah 3, 1 and 2, man. Because these are the type of men that's destroying these women and got them talking trash, like the daughters of Zion, like this chick talking about I was a hobo Hebrew, Leslie. These men got them saying that, man. Got them following these pernicious ways, man. Ever learning. So, what's going to happen? The Lord is going to take your comfort away from you. When you mad, when you happy, what Jake do? They eat. They eat. They drink. They eat. They party and they play, just like in Exodus 32. This is Ezekiel chapter 5 and 16, and it reads, this is serious, man. It's a game right now because you still can go to your grocery store and buy whatever you want to buy. Maybe slim pickings, but you still can go get it. Ezekiel 5 and 16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine. And this is the Lord talking. This is the Lord talking. We ain't write this. Romans 15 and 4 say the scriptures are written a full time ago for our learning. As a matter of fact, before I read that, let me get this. This is First Ezra 2. This is First Ezra chapter 1 and verse 24, right? This was about Josiah. These guys love to use the Passover of Josiah, right? It say First Ezra 1 and 23, and the works of Josiah were upright before his Lord, with an heart full of godliness. As for the things that came to pass in his time, they were written in former times. The scriptures say he was going to die. He was going to have an elaborate Passover. He was going to lose his life. He was going to lose his life, man. Not by sleeping. The Lord just took the spirit from him. No, he died a grievous death, man. It say, as for the things that came to pass in his time that were written in former times concerning those that sinned. Is you following? First Ezra chapter 1, verse 23. And the works of Josiah were upright before his Lord, with an heart full of godliness. As for the things that came to pass in his time that were written in former times concerning those that sinned and did wickedly against the Lord above all people and kingdoms, and how they grieved him exceedingly. I tell you that in 2 Ezra 15. So that the words of the Lord rose up against Israel. When you keep reading in this verse, it tell you how he lost his life, man. He died after that magnificent Passover. These things was written aforetime, man. This is the Lord speaking. There's the point I want to make. This is the Lord saying, I'm finna bring a famine, man. Do you not see it coming? Is the trumpet not being blown? Hold on. I got to get this. 1 Corinthians 14. This is 1 Corinthians 14 and 7. And even things without life giving sound, whether piped or harp, except they give a distinction in the sounds, how shall it be known what is piped or harped? For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? We are not giving you an uncertain sound. The apostles and elder bishops and elders of Great Millstone is not giving you an uncertain sound. It's a sound of war to prepare yourself to the battle. Famine is coming. Pestilence is coming. Concentration camps is coming. World War III brewing up. MOTB is here, about to be mandatory. This is the distinctive sound that's drumming over and over and over every day, man. As Apostle Paul always say, repetition is the father's skill. You might not like the videos because the same precepts out over and over and over, man. Over and over and over. When you get perfected, when you come good at something, it's you practicing it over and over and over. Judges 5 and 11. Rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord. Yahweh shall say in Matthew 5 and 48, be ye perfect as my Father which is in heaven is perfect. Of course, we're not going to be perfect in this body, but we are rehearsing over and over every day. You can't help but to be at some point on a level, man, because you're rehearsing it over and over and over. That's your everyday walk, man. Beautiful precept, brother. Occupy till I come. Amos 3 and 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord Yahweh Shemawashah have not done it? Let's read this again. 1 Corinthians 14 and 7. And even things without life giving sound, whether pipe or harp, except they give a distinction in the sounds, How shall it be known what is piped or harped? There are different horns blown. You got the horn blown, the king is coming. The horn blown, the enemy is coming. You got the horn being blown for the Feast of Tabernacle, the Feast of Weeks, the Passover. It's different sounds. But when the sound of war is coming, that's a different horn being blown. That's a different pipe or harp. For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? These other camps is blowing a uncertain sound. But great millstone, stone of the apostles, and elder bishops have been giving you the same sound over and over and over. What are these niggas doing? They talking trash. Let's get this. Ezekiel 7:14. It reads, they have blown the trumpet. Who? Your spiritual fathers, man. Your spiritual fathers, the elder bishops, have been blowing this horn. They have blown the horn, even to make all ready, but none go up to the battle. But none go up to the battle. Why? Because they're putting off the day of the Lord, man. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. This is Ezekiel 5:16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I shall send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and I will break your staff of bread. The Lord says he's going to break it. So will I send upon you famine, evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee. And I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, have spoken it, man. This is serious, and Jake is playing games, man. Let's get this. Second Ezra 16:40. As a matter of fact, let me get this first. Ezekiel 13. Because the Lord said, you're going to have these guys that's telling you ain't nothing coming. What the Lord say, they have healed the daughter of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace. As a matter of fact, then it's in Jeremiah 8, if I ain't mistaken. Let's see. Bear with me for a second. Yeah. Jeremiah 8:11. For they have healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace. Ain't no peace coming, man. And here is Isaiah saying it as well. Isaiah 48:22. It reads, these niggas talking about Juneteenth. We made it. We finally did it. Made it to well. Isaiah 48:22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemavashai, unto the wicked. And 2/3 of our people are what? Heathens, publicans, wicked, sinners that don't want to repent, man. There is no peace coming to the wicked. So, let's get this. What was going? Second Ezra. No, first I'm going to get Ezekiel chapter 13. Because the Lord said it was going to be these guys and it was going to tell you these things. Well, they tell you in 1 Corinthians 11:19, it reads, 1 Corinthians 11:19. Matter of fact, let me get it. Let me get it. I got to stop quoting and just read it. 1 Corinthians 11:19. For there must be also heresies among you, that they which are approved may be made manifest among you. We know who's approved to teach us this sound doctrine, right? The Lord said must be heresies among us, lies. So you can be like, okay, nah, they off. They going off. Ezekiel 13:4. O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the desert. Ye have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord. They lying to him, right? They have seen vanity and lying divination, saying the Lord said, and the Lord have not sent them. And they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word, man. Jake following these guys. They following these other guys around like they got the truth. And niggas going off on Revelation 6, man. Jake talking about you could pop your woman in the butt. You don't got to call on the names of Yahweh Shema Shai. We ain't gonna know the names till we get to the kingdom. The 400 years of slavery is up, but we still here. Her royal roots, you demon. Jake talking about John the Baptist fell out the truth, right? It's May. It's June. Ain't no MOTB. This is second 16 and 40. There's so many philosophers out there, man. Oh, this nigga Tazariak said he's not oppressed. He said he ain't oppressed, man. What country you living in? Second Ezra 16 and 40. Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle. This guy straight up said that a listener said that Chris Rock ought to go take this man Will Smith's wife and commit adultery. Wow. This is where we at in 2022, man. This is second Ezra 16 and 40. Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready it said make you ready to die battle. Why does it say die battle? Because it's Jacob's trouble, man. And those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth, as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that have no profit by it. Because you got to be ready to drop of a dime to leave this stuff, just like Lot, man. And he that buyeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. Because we pilgrims. We don't have no resting place yet, man. We are pilgrims on the earth, man. He that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children. And they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain. What do you mean? They that labor in vain? You're trying to build a house. You're trying to get you a business for nothing because it's finna be destroyed. Therefore, they that labor in vain, because these things is about to be gone, man. You are wasting your time trying to go to school right now to get your LPN, RPN. You're trying to get real estate license, a bachelor's, a master's, and associates, and a PhD. You are wasting your time. It don't seem like it now, because you think you got some more days, some more months, a couple more years. You can finish your degree in the next year or two. Listen, man, the Lord say these things is going to happen suddenly, man. We don't know when. That what makes the men of Israel, the hopeful elect, watchers. Giving a report, blowing the horn, because you don't know. You think you got another couple more months. You almost done with finishing your PhD. And all of a sudden, you don't wake up the next day. You have a heart attack. Or you're going to have a car accident driving to go take your last two classes for your PhD, and you fly out the window, man, in an accident. These are the things the Lord's saying, man. Don't set your heart upon these things. It said the same thing in 1 Corinthians. I'm finna read it. 1 Corinthians 7 and 29. Of course, we got to maintain. The Lord say he daily give us benefits, man. He daily give us benefits. If you ain't already got your PhD, your master's, your bachelor's, and your associate, and your real estate license, listen, man, don't set your heart on these things, man. 1 Corinthians 7, 29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It's short. Jake think they got more time. Then the Lord just take your life, man, because you have been warned. You still trying to slide through the cracks, thinking you can just slide through, the Lord don't see you, and then you lose your life. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they have none, and they that weep as though they weep not. And they that rejoice, as though they rejoice not. And they that buy, as though they possess not. And they that use this world, as not abusing it. Because if you abuse it, then you're going to be like Lot's wife, man. For the fashion of this world passeth away. But I will have you without carefulness, he that is unmarried, care for the things that belong to the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, how he may please the Lord. But he that is married, care for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. This is Luke 17:26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so it shall be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. The flood came, it's in the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise, also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. But thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day, he which shall be upon the housetop and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Remember Lot's wife, man. You see? Remember Lot's wife, because she looked back and Lot kept going, man. This is serious times coming, man. Let's get this. Because this is what Elisha told Gehazi, right? 2 Kings 5:26. Just reading the point. This is what Elisha told Gehazi. It's 2 Kings 5:26. And he said unto him, went not my heart with thee? Because Gehazi went out to the guy. When the guy tried to give Elisha uh, money and garments for healing him of his leprosy. So Gehazi tried to go behind the guy, trying to go behind what Elisha told the guy, and tell him that his master want the garments and the money, right? So he said unto him, went not my heart with thee? When you deal with a man of the Lord, and you think you're doing something behind the man of the Lord back, listen, man, the Lord is going to reveal it to that man. Talking to you women, if you think you're going to do something behind your man, your husband's back, and the Lord ain't going to reveal it to him, you are a fool for believing that. Because the Lord going to reveal it, man. You think you got homeboys, cousins, family members that do something behind your back? Listen, this is what Elisha was telling Gehazi. Went not my heart with thee? When you're dealing with a man of the Lord, believe me, the Lord going to reveal it to him. Believe that. It say, and he said unto him, went not my heart with thee when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? This is what he told him. This is not the time we in, man. This is what he said. Is it time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and men servants and maiden servants? No, it's not. This the kingdom of heaven. Elisha is running down the kingdom of heaven. Is it time to receive money and to receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and men servants and maiden servants? That's for the kingdom of heaven. It's not time for that right now, man. Everything that we need right now, today, right now, the Lord is going to give it to you, man. Everything that we need to get through our daily motion movements, the Lord say He give us daily. He say in Isaiah, in Psalm 68:19, He loadeth us with daily benefits. Anything more than that, man, you want extra. Just like them wicked jakes in the wilderness. What the Lord say? They want quail. I'm going to make it come out of their ears and their nose, man. That's how much quail you're going to eat. I'm going to make it come out of your nose, man. It's not time for this. And if you get it, let's say you get all these things. What did the Lord say? Let's read it. Haggai 1:2. Thus speaketh the Lord Yahweh of hosts, saying, this people say, The time is not come. And that's Jake that's saying, I got a couple more months. I can get this bachelor's and this PhD. A couple more months. I can get this real estate license. What if the Lord kill you, man? The Lord wait right till the day you finna graduate your class and kill you, man. Thus speaketh the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah host, saying, this people say, the time is not come, the time that the Lord's house should be built. Are we not should be building the Lord's house, man? The Lord gave you a high calling to build his house, man. Nothing else. Then came the word of the Lord, Yahweh, by Haggai the prophet, saying, is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your seer houses, and this house lie waste? The tabernacle of David is being built, man. And we trying to be one of these lively stones. I'm talking about these men. We're trying to be one of the lively stones of the tabernacle of David. Lord willing, man, we could be one of the 144,000, man. And as a young brother has said, I forgot what elder has said it. You got 1 in 12,000 chances. I'm talking about the men of Israel. You got 1 in 12,000 chances, man, to be of the elect of the 144,000 men that get to sit with Yahweh Shah and rule the earth, man, in righteousness. You got 1 in 12,000 chances to be from Ephraim, 1 in 12,000 chances to be from Judah, 1 in 12,000 chances to be from Manasseh. You got 1 in 12,000 chances. Talking to the men of Israel, you got 1. It's only 12,000 seats, man, in all 12 tribes. You know how slim them numbers is? 12,000 is not a lot, man. It's not a lot. If you're trying to be one of those elect men that get to sit with Yahweh Shah in council, man, you got 1 in 12,000 chances, man. Think about that. Then came the word of the Lord, Yahweh, by Haggai the prophet, saying, is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your seer houses, and this house lie waste? Now therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much and bring in little. So like I said, even if you get the bag, even if you get it, what the Lord say? Ye have sown much and bring in little. You eat. Oh, Future said, though the industry they making, he said they still living from check to check too, man. Cause them devil can pull their bag too. Listen, he said they living from check to check too. Okay? They check just a little bigger, man. That's all. These basketball players, they getting a bigger check, but they live from check to check too. Cause believe you me, Esau can pull that bag away, man, and they'll be back on the bottom where we at, man. Believe that. You have sown much and bring in little. You eat, but you have not enough. You drink, but you are not filled with drink. You clothe you, but there is none warm. What is this saying? You buy stuff. Jake might say, oh, man, I got money in the bank. What happened? Don't it run out? Your wine and liquor, your food, don't it get low and you got to go back and get more? Sure you do. If you was in rulership, you got cattle, thousands of sheep, thousands of goats, thousands of ox, lambs. It'll never run out. You got your own vineyards. Your wine will never run out. Your liquor will never run out. But it run out here. Why? Because it's not our kingdom. It's not our rest. You have so much and bring in little. Because you got some want to be super deep, nigga. Tell me, oh, I got enough money to keep my wine and my steaks flowing. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have so much and bring in little. You eat, but you have not enough. You drink, but you are not filled with drink. You clothe you, but there is none warm. And they literally clothes. They get old, wrinkle, holes get in them, right? The garments of old, what did the Lord say when you read in Deuteronomy 8? He said, your shoes didn't wax old on your feet. Your garments didn't get holes in them. Go read it. Deuteronomy chapter 8. Go read it. Yeah. None of our garments got old when we came out of Egypt, man. Okay? It say, and he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes in it. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Go up to the mountain and bring wood and build a house, and I will take pleasure in it, and I will be glorified, saith the Lord. Ye look for much, and lo, it came too little. And when you brought it home, I did blow upon it, I did blow upon it. Why, saith the Lord. So you think you got enough? The Lord gonna blow on it, and it's gonna narrow out, man. He say, I did blow upon it. Why, saith the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah host? Because of my house that is waste, and ye run every man unto his own house. Therefore, the heaven over you is stayed from dew. It's going back into the whole still bread and the whole still water. It say, therefore, the heaven over you is stayed from dew, and the earth is stayed from her fruit. You see, it ain't gonna pan out, man, because you trying to go through another door, man. This is Second Ezra 6:22. It reads, it say, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. Why? Because the Lord is blowing on it, man. Like I said, Haggai 1:9. The Lord is blowing on it, man. It ain't gonna last that long, man. Hey, time is running out. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, which we are seeing. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Going back into the trumpet. We've been giving you the apostles, our spiritual fathers, the apostles and elder bishops, been giving you a distinctive sound, man. It say right here, Second Ezra 6:23, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear, they shall be suddenly afraid. Why? The Lord is building us up now, man. We're hearing the trumpet now. But Jake get tired of hearing the sound, and they stop listening. No, they need to go back to Amos 6:3. They putting out the day of the Lord because man, they've been blowing the trumpet for so long. That same sound of war and battle ain't nothing happening. What Jake do? They get disenchanted. Instead of saying, "Uh-oh, the sound getting blowed again." Oh, it's no niggas like, man, they been blowing that sound for so long. Yeah, that's these Jakes. That's these Jakes. Second Ezra 16:22. It reads, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Why? Because you put off the evil day of the Lord, man. You put off the evil day of the Lord, man. That's why. This is Lamentations 4:9. So if you get away from the sword, you're gonna die of hunger. If you don't die of hunger, you're gonna die of the sword. Either way, what Amos 5:18, right? You flee from a lion and the bear met you. You get away from the bear and a serpent bites you, man. Meaning there's no escaping the judgments of Yahweh Shema Shah. Lamentation 4:9 it say, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pound away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. And that guy was making a joke, talk about, yeah, ain't gonna be no obesity in the day because everybody gonna slim down. That's facts. They're gonna slim all the way down and pound away, man. They're gonna slim all the way down and pound away, man, for disobedience. Amos 6:3. It reads, ye that put far away the evil day and cause the seat of violence to come near, that lie upon beds of ivory, you comfortable. You got your nice little sleep number beds, Tempur-Pedic beds, the purple mattress, right? Yeah, they lie upon beds of ivory. That's comfortable living. You got it good. And stretch themselves upon their couches and eat the lambs out of the flock and the calves out of the midst of the stall. You eating the best of the best. You eating the best of the best. Everything is good. That chant to the sound of the vow and invent to themselves instruments of music like David. You listen, hey, these devils too, man. These devils listen to all this harp music, all these, these that upscale music, right? With the piano playing in the background. These top pianists and these top harpers and all these people, they listen to the music. You know how Esau do when they having a nice little gathering, they eating steaks and caviar, and they got the music in the background, right? Yeah, Jake doing the same thing, man. They're talking about these niggas, these LeBrons and these Michael Jordans and these Oprah Winfrey's and all these Whoopi Goldbergs. Yeah, they chilling. Jake, these dope dealers, these rappers, they are living good. It said they lie upon beds of ivory and stretch themselves upon their couches, eat the lambs out of the flock and the calves out of the midst of the stall, that chant to the sound of viol and invent to themselves instruments of music like David, that drink wine in bowls and anoint themselves with the chief ointments because you got the bag. You could do so. But they are not grieved for the affliction of Joseph, man. The northern kingdom got to come home, man. You see what's going on with the caravans of these Israelites, man? The caravans of Ephraim, the caravans of Simeon. You see what's going on, man? 2/3. You got these niggas talking about the 12 tribes are all black. The northern kingdom ain't Israelites. You got a lot of these niggas talking about North American Indians and Seminole Indians in Issachar and Ephraim and them they ain't part of the 12 tribes. So they are not grieving for the affliction of Joseph, man. All 12 tribes is black. These are niggas that's not grieving for the northern kingdom, man. And you have to pay, man. I have to tell you what is that, Matthew 12 and 36. Every idle word that you people speak, talking to you Israelites, man, the Lord is going to jack you up in that day, man, because you sit around relaxing, chilling. Ezekiel 12 and 25. For I am the Lord Yahweh. I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass, and it shall be no more prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it, saith the Lord Yahweh Shema power. Again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of the times that are far off. Therefore I say unto them, Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shema power, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shema power. I'm going to close this precept. Ecclesiastes 5 and 7. Matter of fact, verse 1. Set thy heart upon thy goods and say not, I have enough for my life. And that's what Jake doing. Follow not thy own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. And say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm have happened unto me? For the Lord is long-suffering. He will in no wise let thee go. Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin to sin. And the tell you in Isaiah 30 and 12, don't fund that Jake trust in oppression, right? It said, what? This shall be their iniquity, man. It's going to be a breach and I'm ready to fall, man. Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin to sin, man. And say not, his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. Wicked niggas talk like this. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation resteth upon sinners. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance, man. And Jake really think this is a game, man. Okay? Isaiah 3, the Lord said he's going to take away the whole stale bread, the staff, and the whole stale bread and water, man. And that's going to be to all these Jakes that think they're on the level, man. It named them. Let's close with that. It named all the Jakes that think they're on the level, man. What the Lord say? Matter of fact, another precept that linked perfectly with that is Jeremiah 14, right? Jeremiah 14 in verse 16. It linked perfectly with that. It say, verse 15, therefore thus saith the Lord, Jeremiah 14:15, concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I sent them not, yet they say sword and famine shall not be in this land. By sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed. And the people to whom they prophesy shall be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem. Don't it say that in 2 Ezra 16? They shall cast them out of houses, right? Especially those that fear the Lord. It say, shall be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem because of the famine and the sword, and they shall have none to bury them, their wives, nor their sons, nor their daughters, for I will pour their wickedness upon them. It's talking to the men. Because what? In Micah 3:1, it says, O heads of Jacob, you supposed to know judgment. So in Isaiah 3:1, again it say, for behold, the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah host, do it take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the state and the staff. That's your protection, your comfort, your hedge, the whole steel bread and the whole steel water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50 and the honorable man and the counselor and the cunning artificer and the eloquent man and the eloquent orator and your wives and your children, your sons and daughters. Yeah, man, this is serious. But Jake taking it as a game because you got these false guys that telling them ain't gonna be no famine, ain't no pestilence, ain't no MOTB, ain't no World War III. They going against the words of the Lord. So, as I tell you in Isaiah 45:9, woe to you that strive against your maker, man. So Lord was edifying. Gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether concepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four ends of the earth, the entire world, working on the hopeful elect. And shalom to the wealth who are listening and learning. You few sisters who are listening and learning. Lord was edifying to Nate tell them I say shalom. Wa abab abab the for tuning in. But yeah, how about your mama shall continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. Hey, if you can. Share the channel. I'm gonna be on this channel for 2 weeks. My main channel down for 2 weeks. So if you can, if not, it ain't no big deal. Hey, because if they ain't searching, it ain't meant for them to find it. So until next time, I say shalom. Wa abab abab.